Councilmember?
I missed it. Councilmember Schreiber leave for the night.
I believe so.
That's truly unfortunate. Again, I had no choice over how these were scheduled. I don't make the agendas. This item was continued from last week because it was felt by the council that it should be agendized separately and not given just as a direction. The situation with the Village Trailer Park, I think, is known to all of us. We as a community have long felt that all of our residents are entitled to stability, safety, privacy, dignity, peace in their homes. And right now the residents of Village Trailer Park are suffering through instability, a lack of safety, intrusions on their property, affronts to their dignity, and the inability to enjoy the peace of their homes. So I wanted to see what we can do about that, and I'll make a motion once we hear from the public.
All right, we will hear from Greg Heacock first, followed by Valerie Griffin, Denise Barton, and Catherine Eldridge. Mr. Heacock.
The Board of Mid-City Neighbors asks you to support deliberation rather than recklessly rush forward with ill-considered developments. Community leaders have been meeting with city planners to give residents a greater role in deciding what constitutes community benefits. While we who live across the street from the mixed-use creative district recognize the need for developers to make a profit off their investments, we think community benefits could define a profitable venture rather than be merely an add-on to a commercial project that compromises our quality of life. Many of us envision developments that are more ambitious than the ones offered by developers. We would like an opportunity to see how we can make such plans profitable for developers and for our community. Some of us envision a residential park with upgraded vintage trailers and a museum celebrating our past. Some would like to see a city composting center, saving our city money, serving sustainability, and promoting gardening efforts throughout our community. Most of us would like to see significant green space in that area and maybe a local library we could walk to. These ideas may not prevail, but we should be given the opportunity to explore these and other options to the high-density housing developments typically offered by developers with the pretense of local serving retail. By making this a more deliberative process, we can make decisions that will benefit both the developers and the community for a long time to come. Thank you.
Valerie Griffin.
Thank you. I am speaking for myself only. For part of my childhood, I lived in a trailer park. I enjoyed the neighborhood. We didn't share walls with our neighbors, but they were very close and visiting was easy. I like knowing that the Village Trailer Park provides a similar kind of community. A tremendous difference between my experience and theirs is that many of them have lived there for many years. It's home. It's a kind of community that should be nurtured and maintained. During the discussions of the Luce, the importance of the Village Trailer Park was brought forth. It was agreed that people involved would go to significant lengths to make a good faith effort to preserve the Village Trailer Park and its unique way of life. The recent events at the trailer park do not appear to be such an effort. The people in the trailer park need the city to prevent the unregulated destruction of their way of life. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise Barton.
Good evening. Let me begin by saying that I find it appalling that you put the developers, also known as your campaign contributors, interests ahead of the residents of the community who you're supposed to be representing. Does something not look right here? You should be ashamed trying to uproot residents like this. The Village Trailer Park residents should have the same rights as any other homeowner and to have a sense of safety, security, comfort, and peace. Here's an idea. On Annalee Drive, where Bobby Shriver and Bob Holbrook live, instead of their houses, let's try to put a Quickie Mart and a 7-Eleven. like that idea? Because this is what you're trying to do to them. Since you're so concerned these days about the subjects of civility, please tell me how much civility was shown to the residents of Village Trailer Park with people coming to demolish things, asbestos falling down on them, or their lives being disrupted in this way. Thank you.
Thank you. Catherine, Dr. Holbrook?
Just for the record, I wish I lived on Adelaide. I don't.
That would be a point of personal privilege. Catherine Eldridge?
Village Trailer Park is a unique and special community filled with unique and special people. It is zoned RMH, not LMSDMH. It is a residential community. It always has been. If you decide to explore all options available for this site and its residents, you will readily find, and we are more than willing to assist you, that mobile home parks were government-sponsored, funded, and preferred housing since the late 1940s, that they are, in fact, a significant part of Santa Monica's history since Donald Douglas built them for employee housing during the war. This type of housing was Santa Monica's first workforce housing and the government's answer to affordability for low-income citizens. Our park in the early 50s had individual mailboxes and telephone numbers for each unit. The owner put in a median down the middle driveway and planted jacaranda trees on the lot lines and in the median. This is not the building design for a park where residents were going in and out. It is a design for permanent long-term housing and neighborhoods. If Santa Monica chooses to continue the status quo, it will be ignoring its own true history. It will be ignoring the true value of this unique site and very special, one-of-a-kind community. Further, it will be losing Santa Monica's last best chance to consider how to preserve its own loose golden rules, conservation and preservation of neighborhoods, and diversity. Give us a fair chance and give Santa Monica a chance to preserve the best of its past. Its past, take the time to examine all the options, and we'll give you a pristine slice of Santa Monica's.
Crystal Anderson, Zena Josephs, Alan Brennan, Kathy Knight.
People at Village Trailer Park have made an investment. They bought a home, but they had a long time lease where they put their home. It's a mobile home. But there have been, some of them have been there for decades. And to now, as the ownership of the land changed and a developer came in and he saw that this is prime land in Santa Monica, he didn't care that these people for decades had their home there, maintained their gardens in their trees that are 100 years old, and there are birds coming, and this is their home too. So this is a village in Santa Monica that has existed for decades, and people live and lived there for decades. And this is something that needs to be preserved, because that is genuine Santa Monica.